Welcome back to Channel JF Point, the home for rare coin lovers, history hunters, and anyone who wants to discover hidden treasures hiding in their pocket change. Today we are talking about one of the most fascinating coins in United States history, the 1944 Ultra Lincoln Wheat Penny. A tiny copper coin that might be sitting in your coin jar right now, and yet could be worth hundreds of dollars, even more in special cases. This little 1-cent piece is more than just a coin. It is a slice of American history, a product of wartime change, and a star in the world of coin collecting. And today we are going to uncover its origin, its rare varieties, and why some collectors are willing to pay as high as $442 for the right example. So get ready, because what you learn in the next few minutes might just change the way you look at pennies forever. Let's start by setting the scene. The year is 1944. The world is in the middle of the Second World War. American factories are running day and night to produce military equipment, weapons, and vehicles for the war effort. Every resource is precious. Copper, steel, tin, and even nickel are being redirected to make ammunition and other supplies. Back in 1943, the United States Mint had made a huge change. To save copper for the military, the penny was struck not from its usual copper alloy but from zinc-coated steel. That is the famous 1943 steel penny. But in 1944, the mint switched back to using copper. However, it was not the same as before. Instead of using fresh copper from mines, most of the material came from melted-down shell casings collected from the battlefields. Yes, you heard that right, the 1944 Lincoln penny was literally made from recycled wartime ammunition. That makes it a true piece of history in your hand. The design of the 1944 penny is classic Lincoln wheat style. On the front or obverse, you have the bust of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing right. Above his head is the word Liberty, and the year 1944 is placed to the right. Around the top edge runs the famous motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse or back, you have the words 1 cent in large letters, United States of America below that, and the Latin motto E pluribus unum across the top, which means out of many, one. Flanking the sides are two stylized wheat stalks, which is why this style is called the wheat penny. Now here is where things get exciting. Most 1944 Lincoln wheat pennies are made from this recycled copper and are common in circulated condition. But there are varieties and errors that make certain examples extremely valuable. Some 1944 pennies were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets from the previous year. These are known as the 1944 steel cents, and they are ultra rare. A single example can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. But even within the normal copper versions, condition, mint mark, and strike quality matter greatly. The 1944 penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a small letter D under the year, and San Francisco with a small letter S. In average circulated condition, most 1944 copper pennies are worth just a few cents over face value. But once you get into higher grades, such as coins that have been preserved in mint state condition with sharp details and bright red color, the value can skyrocket. The coin we are focusing on today is sometimes called an Ultra Lincoln penny when it is in exceptional condition with strong strike quality, full red luster, and no major flaws. For example, a 1944 D Ultra Red Lincoln Wheat penny graded in high mint state can sell for hundreds of dollars. And yes, certain market sales have reached values around $442 for pristine specimens that have been properly graded by professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. Why would someone pay that much for a penny? The answer is a mix of rarity, history, and collector passion. You see, coin collecting is not just about the metal. It is about owning a piece of time. Holding a 1944 penny is like holding a tiny artifact from the era of D-Day, wartime rationing, and victory gardens. Add to that the fact that perfect condition coins from that time are hard to find, and you have a recipe for high demand and high prices. Now let's talk about grading. The grading scale for coins runs from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. Most 1944 pennies you find in circulation today will be in grades like fine, very fine, or extremely fine, which may be worth only a few cents to a couple of dollars. But if you have one in mint state red, meaning the coin has kept its original coppery brilliance without turning brown over the decades, then you are in a much better position. Those can easily bring in $50, $100, or even hundreds if the condition is exceptional. And that is where we get to the $442 value mark, a high-grade certified 1944 Ultra Lincoln penny that is truly a gem for collectors. If you want to know whether your coin could be valuable, you need to carefully examine it under good lighting. Look for a sharp strike, minimal contact marks, and that full red copper shine. If it has a mint mark, check whether it is from Denver or San Francisco, and research recent auction prices for those varieties. If you think you have something special, send it to a trusted grading service for authentication.in. Today's coin market. Collectors are always chasing high-quality examples from historical periods, and the wartime 1944 penny fits perfectly into that demand. Even in 2025, these coins continue to trade actively, and while most are affordable, the top-tier pieces can surprise even seasoned coin hunters with how much they bring at auction. So next time you get change from the store or go through an old jar of coins from your parents or grandparents, take a close look. You might just find a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny hiding there. And who knows, it could be worth way more than 1 cent. Thanks for watching. And if you love learning about rare coins and their stories, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss our next treasure hunt. Until then, keep checking your change, because history might just be sitting in your pocket. If you want, I can also make you a more dramatic, suspense-filled version of the script that really pulls viewers in like a treasure hunting mystery. That style usually boosts watch time a lot. Today, we are diving deep into the story of a small copper coin that has captured the attention of collectors across America and beyond. We are talking about the 1955 D Ultra Lincoln penny, a 1-cent coin from the United States Mint that is worth far more than its humble face value. This tiny piece of metal, originally meant to simply pass through the hands of everyday Americans in the mid-1950s, now has a fascinating history, a dedicated fan base, and in some cases, a price tag that might make you double-check the coins in your change. So what makes the 1955 D penny so special? Let us start with the basics. The D mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint. This was a time when the United States was in the post-war boom era. The economy was growing, cars were bigger, television was becoming part of every living room, and a loaf of bread cost just around 18 cents. Yet, in the middle of all that history, the Denver Mint was busy producing millions of Lincoln cents, each one a small ambassador of American money. Now, the Lincoln cent itself is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. The front, or obverse, shows the familiar bust of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, with the words "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1955 to the right. Just under the year, you will see the small letter D for Denver. On the back, or reverse, you will find the classic wheat stalk design with the words 1 cent, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. This wheat reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958, making the 1955 D penny one of the later wheat cents before the memorial reverse took over in 1959. But here's the exciting part. While most 1955 D pennies are common and can be found in circulated condition for a small amount, there are certain examples, especially those in pristine uncirculated condition, that command incredible prices among collectors. Why? Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A coin that has survived the decades without scratches, wear, or discoloration is rare. For the 1955 D penny, a perfect mint-state example with sharp details and full original luster can fetch hundreds of dollars. In fact, some high-grade examples are valued at around $442 in today's market. Collectors also value unique features such as strong strikes, vibrant red color in the copper, and any errors or variations. While the most famous 1955 penny is the Philadelphia double die obverse, Denver struck its own share of interesting coins. Some 1955 D pennies show off-planchet flaws, die cracks, or slightly misaligned strikes, and these quirks can add even more to the desirability. Think about it, a penny that could have been sitting in someone's pocket while Elvis Presley was first topping the charts, while the very first Disneyland was opening its gates, and while America was entering the space race, now sits protected in a collector's display case, shining as brightly as it did the day it left the mint. That is the magic of numismatics. Every coin is a time capsule, carrying with it a little piece of history. Now let us talk about the current coin market. Coin values can rise and fall depending on collector demand, the overall economy, and how many coins are available in top grades. Right now, in 2025, an uncirculated, brilliant red 1955 D Lincoln wheat penny can easily bring in around $442 or more, especially if graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Circulated versions, while still collectible, usually range from just a few cents to a few dollars, depending on condition. But for serious investors, it is the top-tier mint-state coins that are truly worth hunting down. If you are wondering how to check the value of your own penny, the first step is to examine it carefully. Look for the D mint mark, Check the sharpness of the details, and note the color red, red-brown, or brown. In copper coins, red is the most valuable because it indicates less oxidation over the years. If your coin looks like it has never been used, it might be worth sending to a grading company to get an official evaluation point. One of the great things about the Lincoln Cent series is that it is accessible to both beginner and advanced collectors. Even if you never find a $442 coin, building a complete set of wheat cents can be a rewarding journey, full of discoveries and stories. And who knows, maybe one day you will stumble upon that perfect 1955 D penny that becomes the jewel of your collection. So next time you find yourself with some spare change, do not overlook the pennies. They may seem small, but they have the power to carry huge value, both in dollars and in history. The 1955 D Ultra Lincoln penny is living proof of that, a simple coin from Denver, born in a golden era of American optimism, now treasured decades later as a tiny copper treasure. That wraps up today's deep dive into the 1955 D Lincoln wheat cent. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a whole lot more than 1 cent. Keep your eyes open, check your pockets, and you just might be holding history in your hands. If you want, I can also make the script even longer by adding a collector tips and error varieties section, so your video runs 10+ minutes without filler. That way you'll keep viewers engaged until the very end. Oh, you want me to extend it like that?